This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. I have Coogan and Pug Machine giving it large behind the camera. Pug's like a kid with lots of E numbers. The IFL mic has entered the frame.
Is this a conflict of interest?
A massive conflict of interest. Skye, no, of course not. I will not cut that out. The respect is there.
Pretty light go.
Oh my God, the pretty light went.
Please keep me pretty.
Pretty light.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm
Other than the jet lag.
Yeah, the jet lag, not good. Zombie. Walking zombie today. But I am going off 4 hours sleep today and I'm going to get myself back on track and sleep at a normal hour tonight.
You say. There's always talk in a big game. Jet lag's like the thing that sort of just comes around and it just slaps you around the face. Even if you don't want any involvement in it, it's there.
Honestly, I'm normally really good. Like, I travel a lot.
Especially with the Australian back and forth.
Yeah, and Australia's time zone's way out of whack to everywhere. But this time around, it has hit me hard. And I went to sleep at 6 a.m. this morning and set my alarm for 10 a.m. And I am determined to go to bed at a normal hour tonight, so we'll see.
We'll see when we get an update tomorrow. I suppose on a more serious note, obviously the tragic circumstances that arose from your fight that Friday, obviously thoughts are sent towards the team. We know that Eddie and Matchroom themselves are making an effort within Argentina and the gym and everything, but obviously not what you want to be dealing with when you're fighting. No,
it was a very hard one to kind of sit with after the fight. You have a career best performance and it's then obviously followed by really horrific things that you could never expect or prepare for. So I did struggle with that one quite a bit and I did take some time to just kind of remove myself from basically socials, everything, and just kind of, reflect a little bit on like life is so much more than just boxing, and what Sabrina went through last week just broke my heart, and I couldn't even imagine being in her position, and it was a tough one. It was very hard to feel excited or happy about winning when you think about what she was going through. So it was a hard one, really.
Sure, I feel it just now speaking to you. Look, obviously we reiterate those messages and what is a hard time all round. I suppose on the positive side though, strictly business that you attended to, and another great victory against a tough opponent in there. Now looking forward, challenging to those world honours. You've got the interim belt. We like to dabble first with the WBC and then we look on to the big one. Amanda Serrano is that name. You just want it now, don't you?
I do. I really want it. She's obviously fighting next month, so it kind of rules us out of a fight potentially happening, I think, before the end of this year. But I will fight again before the end of this year. So I would like to defend the interim against a top contender. I'm basically asking for all of the good names between me and Serrano. Whoever we can get, I want to show that I am a real contender for this Serrano fight, and hopefully we can make it in the first quarter of next year.
It's quite interesting actually, because we done a sort of sit down on Zoom maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago now, and we were going through it, and the top 10 names on BoxRec, a lot of them you'd actually offered this fight in TJ for. They hadn't taken it. You're hoping a different situation when the offer comes around this time. Now you're interim, they might be saying, go on, put the pound notes up a little bit more.
Yeah, look, it's hard because probably my last 3 fights, we've been trying to get that kind of level opponent, and it's been really hard, and I can understand that obviously me not being in a position and being, I guess, a hard fight for these girls with not much for them to gain. I can understand why they weren't taking that risk. I'm hoping now that I am in a really good position to get the Serrano fight, it might be more lucrative for them to actually take a fight with me. So that's what I'm hoping for. I've got myself into a really good position, and I'm hoping that might be enough to persuade one of those better girls to step up and fight me, so I can actually show that I am on that level. Obviously Sabrina was a really good opponent. She was the champion, I was the challenger. She's been pro since I was about 8 years old, so yeah. She's a very well seasoned pro. She's been fighting championship rounds for a long time. So I felt like that was still a good challenge for me, but I know that the better the opposition, the better you're going to see from me as well. So I really want to show the world what I'm capable of, and I want to go into the Serrano fight. I know I'm going to be the underdog no matter what going to the Serrano fight, and that's fine. There's a few out there that know what I know, and that's all that matters. I know what I know. And I think a good fight to end this year will maybe put that belief into more people's minds as well, that I am capable of shaking things up in the featherweight division next year.
Well, let me just finally pick up on that then. In the performance itself, you've shown that you were more than comfortable coming forward and throwing your hands and fighting sort of almost that Mexican style, let's say. Just sort of touch on that. I know you're working with Alex, who's your S&C coach, and this is the sort of things that you're very comfortable with your team. I know that Eddie and the lovely Jenny are basically family for you here, but you feel like the way your team's evolving and things are nurturing and coming together now, that it just all seems right.
Yeah, everything's been a work in progress from the start, but I feel like my team dynamic is perfect right now. I couldn't have asked for a better camp going into that last fight. Everything was on point. My strength and conditioning was amazing. The stuff we were doing in the boxing gym, just like we went to new levels, and I showed glimpses of that in the fight. There's still so much more that my team see behind the scenes that I can't wait to show, and I know it's going to keep coming. I know we're going to keep showing more and more in each fight. So no, I'm very excited. I think I've got a really big future in women's boxing, and I feel like I could be the face of women's boxing in the next 12 months.
Fighting talk, we like to hear it. Finally from me, will you be doing the 5K Hyde Park Saturday morning?
I will be. I was very excited when I saw it's in Hyde Park. I think it's such a beautiful run. Yeah.
Look at the runs we do. We do Florida. I think we've done Central Park back in New York now. A bit of Hyde Park. Happy days.
Yeah. Well, I did 23:01 in the Fight Day 5K last week, and I did a 23:00 last night. So determined to break the 23 this Saturday.
I've gone back to 28.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Skye Nicolson, thank you very much for speaking to us at Boxing So.